Okay. I don't even know how to get into this because it's story time. But you know what? I love Chandra. She's a beautiful character that I have cultivated through perseverance for my test and my testimony. And my mess is my masterpiece. And I will rise above the waters like these fucking lilies. And I will walk on the waves while I surf. Okay. So I was just sitting down talking to my friend Rich Morrow, who owns a business called A Better View. And usually I'm talking about all these beautiful hues. Let me tell you, did I fucking pull myself up from the muck of the mire? I did. With balls of fire. Anyway, here we go. We're going to have a story today. Thank goodness, because I need to have this on record because I am trying to, tired of bios and names and all of this shit. Because who are you? Well, you ask yourself who you are, because when you try to be something for somebody else, you don't even find yourself. I gave up everything. Why? Because I was literally saved by the hand of God and Goddess in me that literally reached down and helped me see me. What a dance it has been. I'm so thankful I have so many friends. So I was talking about how I grew up, and there's so much I want to say. I'm gonna just let it flow any which way. Please come have a dance with me. Okay. So let's do this one. Let's see if I can keep it still. Yeah, we were talking about jobs and how we worked and Job, same. Any which way. Um, you come in and you have an experience, and there's already an experience happening when you come in. And so you're given a name, and you're given a birth date, and you're given a race, and all these other things. When you are truly spirit being born, and you have the mind of Christ, and you can imagine anything, and then school programs you, and relationships program you, and your parents program you, and all of these different things are programming you. So you watch TV, you end up reliving those same scenes. It's your body is water, and there's any which way. Okay, back to me today. Okay, so I took care of my mother when I was younger. There's a bunch of other stuff. I could go into a bunch of stuff, but the reason I am the way that I am today is because I was saved, and I've said that story. But let me tell you, it goes from glory to glory to glory to glory to glory. And I worked 3 jobs to put myself through school. I put myself in nursing school after I left what I had wanted to do, which was marine biology. My mother was sick, my grandmother was sick. I took care of both of them. There was no men in my realm. My father died when I was young, and the stepfathers that I had were challenged, let's say that. So my mother got really sick, and that in itself is a whole entire story because she was a complicated case, has O negative blood. I was a phlebotomist. I'm gonna put that to the side. I worked. I had a daughter at 16. I ended up dropping out of high school and went and got my GED because freshman year I was actually in Bristol, Plymouth, Taunton, and I was going to go for automotive work actually. And I was coming into the girls' bathroom, and I was coming out of the girls' bathroom, and a senior was coming in, and she grabbed my head and she bashed my head off of a locker. And that was the last day I went to school. I ended up dropping out. My mother always supported me. She always supported me. She was a bitch, and we fought a lot, but that was when she was in a relationship when I was younger. She tried the best she could, truthfully. And so I ended up getting a job at a pizza place, the Central Cafe in Middleborough. But before that, like, I babysat all the time when I was younger, taking care of my sister. Um, always, like, being responsible. I had a daughter at 16. I'm not sure how responsible that was, but, here we go. And then I worked 3 jobs. I put myself through school. I worked 3 jobs. My daughter didn't get to see me very much. Baby, I love you so fucking much. You are such a righteous queen. And she went through some shit. And her father in my story is a whole nother book in and of itself, but we'll get into that later maybe. Um, my mother became very sick around that same time that I was working for 4 family practice doctors, and actually I just so working a lot. I just want to keep going with the momentum because I can get caught on bunny trails. There's so much to say. It's because the devil's in the details, I say. Anyway, here we go. Working. So I've worked my whole life. Job. Serving because I love my family. Like, I love them all, and I served, and I love people, and I've been in service between working at every job that I've ever done. We can get into that because that's quite a list itself. And then God's been in my life my whole entire life. I was very lucky. I know a lot of you have had some really rough experiences with religion or whatever, and I think honestly most of you are going with something outside of you, like your own personal fucking experience. If it has happened to you or your direct family and you go through it, then work from that space. But when you start taking things from outside of different channels, then you start fucking shit up. That's Babylon. Because you don't directly know. I mean, most people don't directly know between the intimacy of themselves because you're only seeing from your selfish space. It's a great space, but truly there's more faces to see. Yes, we. See and we. So I have worked a whole lot my whole life, done multiple different jobs. I worked so much that my daughter didn't get to experience what it was like to be with her mom. And at 16 years old, I had my son. And my mother was still very sick. My daughter was going through some very challenging times. And that's a book in and of itself, too. So was my son being sick. Because if it wasn't for Source healing my son back in 2011 or 2012, my whole life changed that day, too. So going back to work, working 3 jobs, taking care of my family. My grandmother was sick. My mother was sick. I myself had challenges because I was getting injections in my head, my neck, my shoulders, my jaw all the time. I was in a car accident when I was 16 years old. And the year after my son was healed, and when I say I audibly heard God say, if I didn't make it, don't give it to him. That changed my whole life. A whole bunch happened that year. I got mad. I went back to the Hebrew roots movement and the sacred name movement and the law and the Torah and the muchness of all that. I give honor and respect to every part of my path and every person on their unique individual path. But that pendulum swings, baby, let me tell you. I had to see the wholeness of everything. And then after my son was healed, I had a supernatural healing, and it was after the winter solstice. It was February of, I guess that would be 2013. Everything changed. I was sitting on a lake. There was no lilies on that lake, but oh God, it was a beautiful lake. And it was in the Bridgewater Triangle, and I had my Bible on my lap, and I screamed out to the only God I knew. I called out my brother Jesus. my higher self, everything changed that day. I can see how the quantum realms shifted, how everything had changed. I've seen that happen in different ways now, but literally, like, so this golden light shot up out of me through my head and rained down on everything that day. The trees changed, the lights changed, the colors changed, everything changed. Like, I quantumly changed spaces. That is a supernatural miracle for someone in a different lower dimension. Like, it is profound. It is fucking holy fuck amazing. And even the soles on my feet are tingling because it's so sacred and special to mama. Like, truthfully, each one of these experiences, but it's just very natural when you get into different spaces. And those natural beings don't necessarily honor it the same way, and so it causes more ripples and waves, and I can get into that. Uh, these are all like cliff notes, so I can go back and fill those gaps. I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this in honor of Chandra because I am worthy, and this journey is sacred, and everyone is scared. And what I have to say is a well of wisdom within me that I swear I climbed up out of the mire so that I could truly see and be free. I took care of my grandmother. At one point in time, it was so I married his dad after. So, let's get into this really quickly. So I was healed, right? And then in the beginning of all that, I like laid down everything. Like, I was just like, I left Jesus and I went into all these other things. And it's like, I went to sleep. It's just like, I just shut off my life in Christ. Because prior to that, I was part of a ministry, and that was a whole nother story. But there's a lot of drugs involved in every aspect of my life. I am not any better than anybody else. Between pharmaceutical drugs and Percocet at one point in time when I was in my teenage years, it was cocaine. It was just to keep going. It was just to keep functioning. People have labels and stigmatas over people. But you know what? They have bonded to something. And it's just a bond. It's a chemical bond because they're forming a relationship with something. They don't know. They weren't awakened. They don't know. Let's share and care. So many people are charging. It's charging up the fucking air. Talking about currency. Mother is a true currency, and this is how I travel, and I speak to the air, and I know that what I'm speaking is manifesting at an ion level, and I share because I care. A lot of people are charging too much bullshit up there. And it's because everybody's scared. You know, and thinking about like why I do what I do, because I've been, after my healing, there's so much I know. Quantum boxes, I'm like, so after my healing, and I've had several out-of-body experiences, it's like all of the memories of everything start flooding in, and everything starts making sense, and you start following synchronicities, and like I would have messages for random people. I would stop my car, pull over, and this is something I did in a different way prior to my healing. I just prayed, and I would watch people delivered. I've bared witness to so many miracles. I have literally seen blind people receive their sight and documented it for the Book of Miracles. Like, I have seen crippled people get up out of chairs. Like, I fucking know. I know that I know that I know that I know. And you don't have to charge for that. Like, that is free. It's just like, get up and walk and be free. But you have to release your own suffering. And you have to stop babbling at the mouth, because you are truly speaking over your life and into the hearts of each other. And you're electric and magnetically connected to one another. So, there's a dragonfly right there. I say with care. Ironically, part of my work jobs was working in a psych ward, and what truly happens to an individual when they are getting all of that. Oh, two little seeds are floating together right there. I can't read fine print, but I can see seeds floating. um, I would rather be free to be me in a healthy way where I get to play, even if it's in dirt, every day. There's my feet again, praying for you, soul to soul. Let's help see each other through. So I worked all the time. I was serving all the time outside of myself, so much so that because it started so young, there was no creative flow really. I spent a lot of time in the woods when I was little, but once I started working, everything became shopping. I entered into a system, and after I was healed, Daddy said to come up out of Babylon lest you receive its plagues. That was actually, I mean, and in a day when you're getting injections in your head and your neck and your shoulders and your jaw and your spine and you can't move and you're getting headaches, like, and it all went away in a day. The healers that can do that should get paid. Whew. And that's just reverence, awe, and love. Like, and that was my higher self through the Christ liquid light that lives within me, that is surrounding me, and allows for this space to be. The goddess Sophia in you and me, the mother, the womb of the wound of the well, holding the mass of the Christ light and the stones of the vibration, fiber and vibration. It's a new earth scribe. Ooh, I love this one. Whistling ducks say hey, and we got some clouds up here too. Okay. I want to start a good news radio station and share all of the good news that I see all the time. But as I keep going, because life keeps going and flowing, and I sit in a space of stillness often to honor all that which has been, and all that is, and all that ever will be, knowing that I am truly free. And longing for everyone else to see the depths of the well within their own being, and honoring each other as we swim with one another. So, as I sit here and ponder, because I have not done events. I do events. I don't even look at it as I'm working. Like, I look at things differently. I don't do anything for money. I haven't moved because of money. I literally wanted to take off all of the labels. Who am I? Who am I without these labels? Who am I without this? And who do I want to be? Like, I want to be fucking free. I'm so tired. I love being a mother. I loved being a nurse. I loved being, and I still love being a massage therapist. I love being an artist, which I didn't get to be when I was being so many other things. And how many of us really, really love what we're doing? And I fucking pray you do. Jesus Christ, through and through. Ooh, I think that might have been a gator. Please come out and say hi. I'm not too close though. There's a bee. Not really. So, gift of healing has always been with me. Whether I was praying in missions trips, whether I'm touching people and massaging them, whether it comes on naturally and I speak to them in the public somewhere else. I want things to be natural. Like, who are you naturally? Like, who I am naturally. Like, every person that I've met, I'm naturally me. I'm me this way all the time. All the time. And I have, as I'm cultivating my character, sitting in this new space time, as a sovereign, like bearing witness to my past emotional selves and all of those waves that I had set out in this new realm of intimate mirrors, if you will. And you can get lost in that space too, because each one is a different hue, and there's so many portals to enter into. Holy fuck. I'm thankful for each and every one, especially the ones that are radiant and true to their divine hue, and see the divine in everyone else too. And those pods are popping up everywhere, and I want to speak just about that with care. But the story is sacred for you and for me, so let's cultivate places so that we can all see. There was a whole lot that was wanting to get channeled out of me. Thank you for flowing freely with me. So I ask for your support as I support you in this journey through and through. These kitties are holding a whole universe hue. Again, so I haven't used an autograph. I'm becoming all of those labels, all of those names. And everything that I have done has been because I have showed up. Because I have showed up in my interpersonal relations and traveling through the song heart that has intimately opened up within me. This is how I have been traveling since my mother transitioned over, since my out-of-body experience in 2017. I spent the first year in 2017 going to powwows all across Florida. My son was met by some beautiful Jody, I love you, and been able to dance. And my girlfriend Nana Rainbow, I love you too, Kathy. I spent time with her and just learned so much. Doing earth art and visiting all the heads of the springs all over Florida, and this was back in 2017. I had a beautiful woman, Katrina, who was up in Standing Rock and who had implemented the red tent over there and doing sacred water blessings with all the natives, and this beautiful vase that was created, and all of the women elders that had gathered had used this beautiful vase. And she was on her own and is on her own journey with her children, and the dragoning, awakening, grail carrying, lineage honoring, beautiful sisters blooming together to gather to behold her, because Mother Matters movement has been moving for ever. As this lineage and the strength of this womb man is grounded into this moment. All honor and reverence. Thank you. Giving all honor and reverence to Father, who comes and breathes new life on Mother so these children can see the stackable doll in thee, and honor the fire within with the breath of a mist. That's not madness or sin. Yummy, yummy, yummy. There's so many portals to get into, but a little blue damselfly right there. I don't know if you can see. Oh, where'd it go? So, I'm thankful that you listened, and I'm thankful I know that it's kind of a crazy story and a bunch of like little bunny trails from the story. But you shouldn't have to work your life away. We should naturally be able to enjoy what we're doing. I'm so thankful for everyone who is like really cultivating their character on a purpose for not such a selfish service, but to like really play in your natural way where you get to be of service and honor the day. You're present. It was a gift of life. You get sunrise to sunset. Let there be lack of quarrel and strife. Everything up there is already here. It's in the insects, it's in the bugs, it's in the lilies, it's in the pads, it's in this oil skin, it's in the plasma, it's in so much that it's just all here. Calm your waters. Be grace-filled sons and daughters. I honor the body and bride of the living Christos. I'm thankful for the I am light that is here. Let it be clear that compassion fills the air. May we all get to see what it's like to be safe and sovereign and finally free.